welcome to the Rock and Metal Faith Podcast, where music and faith collide. If you like the hardcore Jesus rock and roll, or are curious as to what it's all about, you've come to the right place. From the classic bands to the up and comers, and all those in between, we talk about them all right here. So come and join us. We rock the hell out of you as we rock for the King. All right, this is another bonus episode we're doing, a little bit different than our past bonus episodes. Usually I do that by myself. Today I got Kris to join me. I wanted to get his input
Good,
on.
good.
Good. Yes, I wanted to get Kris's input on some stuff. Last episode we did there was part 2 of the interview with Rex Carroll. And before we got into the interview, we were trying to talk about some stuff, and we had a little bit of connection problems. Kris couldn't hear what I was saying, so I ran the news off, but we didn't get Kris's input. And I wanted to get Kris's input on a couple of things that have been happening here in June. We're going to call this the June bonus of June news and birthdays. We haven't done June birthdays, and we're soon into July. So we'll do that real quick, too. But I wanted to get your perspective, Kris. So what are your thoughts on the Newsboys situation?
Well, first of all, it's not very good for the fans, right, who dished out money and the churches involved, right? They were all probably promoting it and that kind of stuff. It's not good, but I mean, if we want to add what's going on with Michael Tate as well, with
Yeah,
his,
specifically, I was talking about that.
that's right, with his allegations, whoa. I mean, to me, that says either the people who were with him, like his management team, they had to know something was up. Like, really. And if they did, my question is, why the heck didn't they intervene? Quietly within Michael Tate's camp, somebody should have been brought in to talk to him, the counselor, say, hey, man, what's going on? Like, but it didn't, right? I think it was brought up by the Joy's report, and she's awesome. She exposes corruption within the faith. So I don't think it's good for Christian music at all, including the metal community as well. Like you should be able to ask for help, especially a high profile job like being on tour, right? That makes me sad that it kind of tarnished his whole ministry or his career. Like, he's done. What do you think?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, what it does, it reminds us not to put people on pedestals, no matter who they are. And reminds us. And I think Michael Sweet has said something similar to this: that we're all sinners, we're all fallible type. Nobody is infallible, and so we got to kind of keep that in perspective. Now, that does not excuse what Michael Tate has done. No, and he's come out and kind of admitted that yes, the allegations are true. Type
That's
of thing.
right.
Um,
I give him credit for that, for having the guts to admit publicly.
yeah, and and a lot of people might think too on this that well, he's only admitted because there's no other way out. He can't deny it type of thing, and maybe he can't. But I'm kind of reminded of King David too when he was caught uh, with Bathsheba there. First he tried to cover it up, then he tried to get Uriah to sleep with her to make it pass it off as his, and then he had him killed, and then he tried to carry on as if nothing happened. And only when he was confronted by Nathaniel did he admit that he had sinned. But he was also very repentant too. We recognize King David was very repentant from that moment on. Is Michael Tate repentant? Hopefully. I'm not going to say he is or he isn't type of thing. Only he knows where he is in that situation, I think.
That's right. And I mean, I say give him a couple of years. If people around him who love him, I think they'll come and say, "Look, Michael, you're gifted, you're talented. Give it a couple of years. Go into counseling." Obviously, he needs it. Now, I don't know if you know Arin.
But you got to remember too now that uh, being forgiven as sinners doesn't
Amen.
excuse us from
Amen.
consequences of our actions either.
But that
You know.
being said, there's forgiveness, but at the same time, he needs to be accountable for those actions.
Yeah, no, I just said that. Even being forgiven, there are still consequences to our actions.
But I mean, we should all pray for Michael and the victims. I personally all stand with the victims, um, because ultimately we don't know what unfortunately happened with behind the scenes and stuff. We're only getting bits and pieces. More will come out, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah, I don't want to speculate too much more than what has already come out. I just wanted to kind of, that was a piece of news story I was going to say last time, but I wanted to get your perspective on it. And before we got too far down the road type of thing. So
Yeah,
that's why I thought invite you for this bonus episode, get your perspective on that. One other thing that Michael Sweet said too on an unrelated topic, we like doing a segment called Michael Sweet Says. And Michael Sweet now says Stryper is hated because they're a Christian band. Do you think that's the case?
I think so. I think I think from a perspective, if I never knew who they were and I listened to their single, I don't know which one I would pick to use. Some people might say, "Oh, they don't sound very Christian," but if you sit down, play their music, research the lyrics online, I mean, back when we were growing up, we couldn't do that, right?
Yeah, yeah,
We had to listen to music and guess what the lyrics were. You know, like I'm
yeah,
trying to think of a song that I listened to that I got the lyrics completely wrong to. Yeah, where now you could find them everywhere.
yeah. There's a few of them I'm gonna have to look up because I'm listening to them and I don't know what the lyrics are, and they didn't come with the lyric sheet in the CD. As far as Stryper and being a Christian band, yeah, I don't know if that hinders their popularity. I know there's lots of non-Christians and lots of atheists that listen to Stryper because they do like their music, and lots of Christians don't because they don't like their music. So maybe it's just that their music style, as great as it is, for it just isn't for everybody. I don't know.
Yeah.
Time for our birthdays. We got a few birthdays to finish off the month of June. I've got, I guess we stopped around June 14th or whatever the last birthday before that was.
Yeah.
So we start from June 15th for birthdays. We've got John Lowry, who played keyboards for Petra in their heyday in the 80s. Born 1950. June 18th was Oz Fox's birthday, and we all know Oz Fox, the second guitarist for Stryper. June 19th, we got a anniversary of a death. Rick Foley, who played bass with Bride, and this was during the 80s for them. I think he played on the Snakes album and probably the Scarecrow album. And then for birthdays on June 19th, we've got Brian Head Welch of Korn, but who has become a Christian. And Roger Dale Martin, who played bass for Vengeance and is now with Reign of Glory. Brian was born 1970. Roger was born 1958. Then we got June 22nd. Jesse Sprinkle, who was formerly of Demon Hunter from 2000 2004. Played drums for them during that time. Jesse Sprinkle, born 1976. And then June 23rd, Ryan Clark. Vocals for Demon Hunter ever since 2000. Born 1979. June 28th was an anniversary of a Stryper record, In God We Trust, came out 1988. June 29th, Christian Borneo, who played drums for Petra, or plays drums for Petra, since 2013. He was born 1981. And also on June 29th, birthday boy Rob Rock, 1959.
Rod Rock, he is cool. I got a couple of his singles over the years.
Right? Yeah, I think one of my favorites of his is Holy Hell.
Mm-hmm.
We might have to play that one sometime. Actually, that's it for this bonus episode. I would try to keep them fairly short, and doing the birthdays on the bonus stuff. Give us some feedback on this. Do you like the birthdays? Do you not like the birthdays? Should we not do them at all, or should we maybe keep the birthdays to just bonus episodes? So give us some feedback on that, and we'll talk to you later.